Oh,
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. It's Mars and Petey. What is rocking today? Today we're going to be discussing She-Hulk, the final episode of this series, and we cannot understand what the hell just happened.
we
So
can
I'm
understand it.
gonna let no, we do not understand it. So I'm gonna let Petey give his tainted overview of the finale, and then I'll come in and tell you what really happened. Okay? So hey, Petey, give us a heads up.
Basically, in this
I
episode,
totally disagree. Totally
oh,
100%
I
agree
didn't
on
get
it.
to finish
Okay.
what I'm saying with his bad jokes. So basically, the She-Hulk is now getting a boot on her power, so she can't do anything. And as they go along, they realize her friends, the paralegal and the other guy, like, hey, we can kind of try to connect with these guys. It's kind of no man for She-Hulk, the Intelligencia, and they make a connection, right? So they make a connection. They go there, and at the same time, She-Hulk is, struggling with it. And I think when she talks to Emil, she says with her family, and the family is a little too nice for me. I liked in the comic where the father was kind of against her being a She-Hulk, and basically it's supposed to be the reverse now. Something that she didn't like in being a She-Hulk is now the thing that she wishes she could do, and so then at the same time she gets to where they have this retreat, and at this retreat has the guy that she dated, and he's behind all of this, which is a
Phelps, the billionaire, Phelps, and
yeah,
client of their of the law firm.
it's a decent mystery because I should have figured that one out, but I didn't. So I give him kudos for that. I mean, what else can you say is a mystery if you didn't figure it out? Then there you go. So you had that happen, but then at the same time, everything goes awry. He gets the She-Hulk blood, transforms, and the Emil Blonsky's there as what's the name, and then the Hulk appears, and it all goes into a classic Marvel sort of ending. And She-Hulk finally utilizes her powers,
What powers? Those are not legit powers.
the powers from the great John Byrne that she's in. She knows she's in a TV show. Like in this story, you see, she decided to pull back the artist that had started her second series. And but the thing is, it would have been kind of cool if it actually had Kevin Feige in there, because the fun part of this She-Hulk was her talking to Byrne, and her like the one of the major storylines is one of the characters, the supporting character, says, "I don't like this subplot. Like, why did Byrne, I'm trying to be realistic, make my character fat?" He said, "Well, why am I fat?" He said, "No, you said you had an eating problem." He's like, "No, I didn't have an eating problem until you made me say that." And it also goes back to this old debate between Peter David and John Byrne, where Peter David say the characters write themselves, and Byrne says, "Yeah, there's a feeling of that, but the writer's always in control." And Peter David was like, "Oh, you haven't had your characters write themselves? How sad is that?" But if I tell you what the story where he said the character wrote himself, the story does not, like, it doesn't hold up now. If I tell you what it was, you'll be
What
like,
about this story holding up very well? Does
she goes to it and she's saying she's writing herself. She's saying, "Hey, this is too extra." So she goes to the eclectic writing room. I couldn't believe that is definitely not the real writing room, because it basically had the same amount of diversity that Mr. Immortal's wives were. Like, it's like half men, half women, and a multiracial people. It always, when they do this, I think Larry David made fun of it, where it just had a whole bunch of wacky characters in there. These guys could never be, wouldn't be friends for 2 seconds, and then they turn into. She-Hulk goes another step into it, because this is what the She-Hulk does. She-Hulk breaks panel banners. She rips pages. She does a whole bunch of stuff. So they did, hey, she's gonna go through the app, go through the whole streaming service, right? So she goes to the next step, and I thought they were gonna do more with it. What they did was they did the what's that guy? The architect come in with a whole bunch of screens, but it's actually a computer, it's an AI. So they didn't go full architect, but it'd been fun if it was Kevin Feige and he was the architect. Ergo, that would have been hilarious.
Okay, so look, the issue is that
There's
while
no issue.
the issue that
Storyline, there was all the storylines that were converging where you could have done the basic.
they took out the final fight and basically said, "Hey, we're not even going to work on it."
Yes,
And
totally.
so they're like, she's
totally
like,
cool with that.
she's basically like, there's a standard in these films where there's a final fight and all these
Yes.
things. And they just said, no, we're not just going to do that. We're just going to just drop it out. Not only do they do the fourth wall breaking, basically not even broke. She walked through the fourth wall, went all over the studio. And you're like, wait a second, this is not what we were watching. And then next step, she then changed it all. So I don't know how anybody, I myself are not happy for it.
This wanted a fight.
Yeah, we want to see a fight. We want to see her really let loose. You know what I'm trying to say?
Didn't we see that in this series?
We didn't really see it. I mean, throw out, down, out, ball with another Hulk, and it didn't happen.
With another Hulk? That's what you wanted?
So what we found out is Phelps, the guy who's a billionaire who works for he tried to date her a couple of episodes in the past when she was doing that whole Tinder thing, that he developed Intelligencia, and he was the Hulk King, the one behind the whole thing with her, getting Josh to sleep with her and then steal her phone information and getting her blood. And then, of course, he did that whole thing where it came up and everybody saw who she was sleeping with and stuff like that. And, of course, distressed her so much that she went buck wild. I think after that madness, you would want to get the guy who totally destroyed your life, punch his face out.
No, she's not supposed to go like a revenge thing, right? That was
that revenge is justice. It's not revenge. He's an officer of the court. She's justice.
He went to jail after they fixed the storyline. He went to jail
a couple of times, So I mean, look. Here's the thing. He put the Hulk King. He put her blood in him, and he started transforming. And she cut the fourth wall. So what happened to that? It didn't happen. Did it happen? We don't know because it just.
He wanted him to go to jail, so that's what they did.
But what happened to the transformation? What happened? Did that thing just stop or change? That's a hole in the plot, bro.
No, you can't. The thing of it is, it's too cliche. They had like
too cliche or not, it was going and then it's cut. So we don't know what happened.
We don't need to know.
It's not. It wasn't. Dude. All I wanted to do was just flick off the TV. Click.
Wow.
If this is going to be what they considered good streaming for Marvel on Disney Plus, I am out of it.
But you saying you were in it when the Hulk came, Abomination was there. You were like, oh, this is it. Look at them fighting, and Shield's gonna.
It's fight. It. We're gonna be. And then, but here's another problem. The whole with that is the whole thing with Abomination, right? So you're telling me Abomination came to a conference, or this was a conference set up by Phelps / Hulk King. For the people who Intelligencia who hated her, right? So all these guys come and talk, hey, why should there be these diverse superheroes or what? Why is she so strong? Got it, right? But then Abomination comes in his full form. One, how did he break the collar, the electronic inhibitor? They don't explain that without no one noticing. And number two, why would he go there? Like, he's supposed to be friends with.
He needed the money.
You said that?
I mean, yeah, he said he just does random engagement. That's what he said.
Right. So he didn't know at all. He's just like, guess what? He didn't get that this was a place that they were going to be doing for
So it works.
It does not work, and it
gives a nice
and it should not be there at all.
To the She-Hulk.
Yes, the She-Hulk. I'm going to give it. If we have to give it a rating for this episode, I'd give it a rating of out of 100, a 3. Okay. Wow. You know what? I'll be more generous. I'll put it on a curve. Out of 5, I'll give it a 2. Okay.
These last 2 episodes were good. I think they could have.
No, they were not.
You didn't
The,
like the
the fight with
Daredevil
Matt
one?
Murdock was great, and I thought this character, and I gotta say, he walked on and he killed it, Matt Murdock. But and his integration, I'm not crazy about this suit. I'm not crazy about this suit at all. Why don't you just put on the whole black ninja suit if that's going to be the way you want to go? Take this suit out, you know?
All right,
So,
so I would say that you're totally wrong. It was a fun thing. It gave you something different than having a big fight climax. Even though they gave you the big fight climax, they just ended it sooner. So
so
that was.
wait, what's the difference between this and Wonder Woman? The Wonder Woman, the way it ended the same way. There was no big fight climax at the end, and we all hated that.
I
Okay?
didn't hate the Wonder Woman ending.
Of course we hated the Wonder
No,
Woman
I
ending.
didn't. The
Yes,
thing
we
was
did.
that she used the freaking lasso, which is what Perez did in his storyline. He used the lasso to show Ares the truth in Perez's first story, right? And then you go to this one. She wraps around the guy so he can see the truth. So that's the thing. So I'm like saying, why would I be upset with that ending when it's basically what Perez did? The only difference was it was Ares.
It was the thing we wanted to see. Okay?
Look.
So look, I'm not gonna fight you with this. We're gonna have a difference of opinion. As usual, you're wrong and I'm right. Okay?
You're
And
totally wrong. And the thing that killed this episode was Scar.
oh no,
Scar
why do you want to
appeared.
go there?
That was the worst idea ever.
Okay, so we want to move off of the show and start talking about the potentialities that Marvel is building a whole new. I don't know. I was gonna say
A whack
just
Hulk movie with all this Hulk and his son. Come on.
yeah. Well, this little Scar
Time
exists,
works different in space, so now
but
his son is an adult. Like, come on.
it does. I mean, you know full well how
Are
time is.
you kidding me?
What we see on TV doesn't really make sense. It would take you 20 years to go to a place and come back. It's going to take you 40 years altogether. So
Why
I don't
is
have
the
a problem
Hulk
with
back
Scar.
regular and his son the same age as the Hulk now?
No, he's not the same age as the Hulk.
Might as well be. What is the Hulk? Because Mark Ruffalo is like 50. Now his son is 20. Like, come on. They haven't even been around that long.
Yeah, I don't have an issue
They
with it.
don't know what to do with the Hulk. They don't understand that the Hulk is a character. They don't have a Bruce Banner. Now he's just the Hulk all the time.
Well, remember, we got to also remember the constraint by the corporate contracts they have, right? Remember, Hulk was one of the characters that they sold during the period of when Marvel was going through stuff. So, like, Spider-Man is run by Sony. Fantastic Four and X-Men were run by Fox, which were now controlled by Disney, right? But the Hulk is controlled by Universal. I think they're letting the character, they have some type of arrangement similar to what, not the exact same, but similar, where he's more on loan or anything like that. So I don't think he can have a solo movie by.
Yes, he can, as long as they don't want to spend the money.
Well, I mean, if they have to, they have to. But I'm just saying, I don't think people like the Ragnarok thing where they saw Planet Hulk where he was doing this. So they're like, hey, this is where this guy's coming. I have no problems with that. All I'm saying is that, and in fact, I'm more interested in seeing that version, seeing this, than I am in continue to see She-Hulk. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I was highly disappointed. I like this actress. I really liked her from Orphan Black. I think she's very talented, and I like the story all the way up until the very end. So I don't say liked it. There were some episodes that I really didn't like, but there are many of them that I thought were pretty good. And this here, just at the very end, it was like all that
Go
stuff was
back to saying that
important to the
same thing
very
that
end.
you said before, that the very end you didn't like.
I told you this last one I didn't like the very end. So all I'm saying is that
All you do is reiterating what you just said.
I know I'm just disagreeing. I'm agreeing with myself.
No. The thing of it is that rather than be lame cliche of using the Hulk's blood, they did something where they just cut up all of that story.
Give your audience what they want.
Shit snipped like a bonsai tree.
Not a problem with that. I'm not insulted by that. I'm all for that. Give the audience what they want. Okay.
No. Don't give the audience what they think they want.
Oh, so you know what the audience is. You are that sounds.
No, the audience says, "Hey, why can't the thing turn back and forth?"
Oh, we're not
Instead
talking
of
about this again.
instead of fixing the thing, the kids feel for the thing. The problem is adults wake up and they say, "Oh, you can't do any more stories with that. They should just make them be able to change back and forth." Like, no, you don't. If you don't do those stories, they're not doing those stories, so you can't sit around and say that they can't do them. So
Of course they can. Just the same way that Batman didn't have a son, now he has a son. The same way they've changed up the Hulk, where the Hulk before wasn't able
stop.
to be Professor Hulk. I'm saying they can do
Bad
anything they want to do,
ideas.
and I
Bad
don't have a problem with
ideas.
that. And I think this actually hurt the Fantastic Four, where at one point Thing was one of the most popular characters around. But people are like, hey, why can't he go back and forth or whatever? After all this time, all the things, Mr. Fantastic is so brilliant. Why can't they figure out something where at least he has?
No, that doesn't make any
It
sense.
makes a bunch of sense. I
No,
don't
it
see
does
why it does.
not.
It does too.
No, it doesn't. You
Look,
can't. The thing about
and
this,
I know the YouTube verse is all on my side because they're probably
no,
agreeing with you.
everyone, the point of it, the editors and writers said, when you see that, it's just people supposedly feeling for the thing. And you just say, oh, it would work. When you take away all the story, you take away the connection that the problem with that Ben could have with Reed for changing him into this thing by mistake, inadvertently being a part to that. So that's the key part of this storyline of the thing. When you decide to take it and say, you know what, we're gonna fix this, you take away all your drama. You take away everything that's set up, everything that's going on between Ben Grimm and the thing, and the Human Torch and the thing is gone. Everything that's going on between Reed and the thing is gone, right? So all you just fix him and just say, oh, he has a regular relationship. Even his the thing is no way a cliche, right? He was the beast that was trapped in this thing, he's trapped in this thing where the world is paper mache, and he's ugly and he's struggling with it. Someone woke up and said, no, he should be happy with it. He should be happy after all this
He's
time.
not
That
happy with
makes
that
sense.
at all.
So
But
that's the
I
thing.
remember,
That's your story. If you don't like it, you stop reading. That's not what happened to the Fantastic Four. What happened to the Fantastic Four was Kirby left, and no one was putting in their full energy into it. They weren't making characters that were strong. They were not writing to the FF strengths. They were working to their weaknesses and the things that people perceive. So it's not until Byrne gets on it where he's not necessarily making them more powerful, but he played up the drama. And
Franklin,
what?
Franklin,
Wow, this guy. So ultimately, you can chicken out and be a lame and say, "You got to fix this. You got to get rid of all of the cool stuff in here and put
the
in
cool stuff. That's not the cool stuff. Clearly not the cool
the
stuff.
cool stuff."
No, it's
Him struggling with being a monster, where people keep deciding that he's not a monster. He's a cuddly teddy bear. He's not. He's a monster. But as a man stuck in that thing, and he's a rough personality with a negative outlook. That is,
you can do the same thing like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where you have one
he's
point where
not Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That was
but
the
I'm just
Hulk.
saying you can put it where he part time.
That's the Hulk.
I'm just trying to say that the same thing can also be done for the thing. Now here's the thing. The whole thing with the Hawk is totally uncontrollable. But I'm saying where he's locked into this and probably something is happening to him. Look, we're gonna have to disagree and disagree once again.
That's what the Hulk is on now. That's what the Hulk is.
The Hulk is Professor Hulk now, so we don't have that issue, right? Because it's basically
whatever he wants to.
he's now he's Professor Hulk, so he's like that all the time. So we don't have to worry about it. Okay. So look, Petey, I don't want to say that you're off your kilter, but
You're totally wrong.
you can't use what I'm saying about you on me. Okay.
You're totally wrong.
You know what? Again, people, you guys are hearing what we're saying. The whole purpose of this channel is to show that
Totally wrong.
those who don't know what they're talking about will.
Totally wrong.
It's for you to decide who's right and who's wrong. Okay.
And you're totally wrong. I'm doing your tactics. Just speak over you.
So, if you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up, comments, spin rack,
Amazing. We also have shows on public access channels in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and the Bronx. So check us out.
Check us out. Spin Rack
Out.